Stop. If you've heard this one, the strongest character in the world gets out of a prison after 3 years, enters the most hype fight in history, and then gets turned into a Kit Kat off screen. Welcome to modern anime, where the internet is currently undergoing a collective lobotomy and your favorite character has a 90% chance of dying before their character arc even makes sense. If you've been on TikTok, Reddit, or Twitter in the last year, you haven't just been watching anime, you've been surviving it. We are living in the age of lobotomy kaizen, a state of pure fandom insanity that triggers every time a manga takes a week. We're talking about a community so unhinged, they've started hallucinating fan fiction panels where characters sew themselves back together just to cope with the trauma. But why are we like this? Why does every new show have to be peak fiction or absolute slop? Today we're diving deep into the psychology of the anime hype trap. We'll look at why Jujutsu Kaisen's final arc made everyone lose their minds, why Solo Leveling is the king of aura farming, and why your favorite series might actually be, well, overrated. We've got 15 minutes to break down the most controversial writing choices in modern shonen, so buckle up, and hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into our shared brain rot, hit that like button. It supports the channel more than Sukuna supports Yuji's mental health, which is to say, it actually helps. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the one-eyed cat, Gege Akutami. Gege is a comedian, a troll, and a writer who seemingly bends to no one. Not even his editors. His greatest talent, knowing exactly when to take a shonen trope you love and throw it in the trash. Early on, JJK felt like a greatest hits of shonen, orphaned protagonist, secret society, goofy mentor, but Gege's philosophy is different. He believes death shouldn't be a glorious cinematic send-off with a sad violin music. In his world, death is random, ugly, and unceremonious, just like real life. Think back to Junpei or Nanami. Those deaths hit because we felt the wasted potential. Gege doesn't want you to be sad. He wants you to be angry that a promising figure was just swiped out of the story. But then we hit the Shinjuku Showdown arc. This 50-chapter marathon basically turned into a 30-chapter gauntlet where Sukuna just kept winning. Fans started calling it Sukuna Roulette. A character arrives, does one cool move, Sukuna looks nervous for 5 seconds and then surprised. Sukuna wins because of a binding vow he made 1,000 years ago involving his left big toe. The criticism is real. Many fans felt the arc was simultaneously rushing and dragging. It felt like a repetitive loop of if-else code rather than active storytelling. When you have characters like Maki stabbing Sukuna through the heart and him just not caring because he's a heartless monster, the stakes start to feel a little bit hollow. While JJK was busy traumatizing its audience, Solo Leveling was busy teaching us a new vocabulary word, aura. Solo Leveling is essentially the bag of sugar of anime. It's not a deep philosophical masterpiece like Vinland Saga or Monster. It is a high-octane power fantasy designed to give you that primal joy of watching an underdog climb to the top. But there's a catch. Critics point out that the story is formalic. Jinwoo gets taller, more handsome, and more powerful every episode until he's basically a god who never struggles. This led to the meme of aura farming, where the protagonist just poses on a building while with his arms crossed because looking cool is more important than the plot. The danger here is what fans call monotony of pace. If every scene is fast-paced and hyperkinetic, the human brain stops getting that dopamine hit from the action. You need those engagement cycles, a palate-cleansing moment every 3 to 4 minutes to keep the audience from falling into a trance. When anime removed the humorous chibi scenes from the manhwa, it accidentally made Jinwoo feel more like an aloof machine than a human, which is exactly why some people call it mid-leveling. Let's get academic for a second, don't worry, it won't hurt. Why are anime debates so toxic? It's all about two cognitive biases, the halo effect and recency bias. The halo effect happens when we like one thing about a show, usually the god tier animation, and our brains automatically assume everything else, like the writing, is also amazing. This is the ufotable carry. People will defend a plot with more holes than a Swiss cheese factory just because the lightning effect's pretty cool and look pretty. Then you have the recency bias. We remember recent events more clearly, so we overvalue them. This is why every new seasonal hit is the best anime of the decade until 3 months later when we've completely forgotten it. Combine these with the echo chamber online communities where we only talk to people who agree with us, and you get the war zones of Reddit and Twitter. If you only ever talk to fans who think Code Geass is a flawless masterpiece, you're going to have a mental breakdown when someone points out that half the plot relies on conventionally inconvenient Geass malfunctions. So, if the mainstream stuff is a beautiful dumpster fire, what should you actually watch? If you like the men killing demons in the feudal Japan vibe of Demon Slayer, but want more character depth, go watch Dororo. It's short, sweet, and actually cares about what it means to be human. If you want a mecha drama that doesn't rely on literal Deus Ex Machina, check out 86. Fans argue it's far more consistent than Code Geass because it focuses on psychological state of the soldiers and the gritty details of military procedure. And then there's the sleeper hit of 2025, or On the Movement of the Earth. It's a philosophical drama about heliocentrism. I know, astronomy anime sounds like a snooze fest, but it's a powerful tale about how religion and science clash. And it's being held as a modern classic for those who want dialogue over explosions. Even the classics are getting recontextualized. Take One Piece. For 20 years, we wondered why Kuma was so merciful to the Straw Hats on Thriller Bark. With the recent Egghead reveal, we now know Kuma wasn't just testing them. He saw the successor to Nika in Luffy and chose to bet on the future. That nothing happened scene. It wasn't just about Zoro being a badass. It was a buccaneer recognizing the voice of liberation. At the end of the day, whether you're an aura farmer or a lore addict, anime is a journey. It evolves and newer authors learn from the mistakes of the old. Jujutsu Kaisen might have a messy ending, but it's a realistic one that leaves its players with visible scars. So, what do you think? Is Solo Leveling actually peak, or is it just flashy fast food? Is Gege a genius or just a troll who loves drinking Gojo fans' tears? Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious, and yes, that is me baiting for engagement because I have bills to pay. Before you run off to start a 40-minute argument over on a power scaling thread, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. It's a legal binding vow that ensures you'll be the first to know when I cook up something new. Until next time, stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember, if you're ever in a 1v1 against a warlord, just tell them nothing happened. It works every time. See you, out. Peace.